readers, so I'm not getting any better, so I figured I'm just gonna do this and I'm gonna get it done with, and then we're gonna move on. First, I am talking about my review of Will Grayson. I've read a lot of John Green books. I've read Paper Towns and Looking for Alaska, and I love them equally. This one, however, I think is my favorite one because it didn't contain death or loss in the same way that the other books did. Will Grayson is about two different Will Graysons. The first one is a straight guy whose best friend is called Tiny, who is a huge, big, muscly giant who is a gay person, and his other close friend is Jane. The other Will Grayson is a loner, I'd say. He is gay, closeted gay. He has a friend called Maura and 3 other guy friends who he hangs out with, but they don't really know anything about each other. They don't really take time to get to know each other. He's like socially awkward, I'd say. And he has when the story begins, he has a secret boyfriend online who's called Isaac. And that's basically where the story starts. It says, Will Grayson meets Will Grayson one cold night in the most unlikely corner of Chicago. 2 strangers are about to cross paths. From that moment on, their worlds will collide and lives intertwine. Seriously, I love this book. If you have not read this book, you have to read this book. I was caught the second it all started. The first Will Grayson, who is, I'm gonna call the first Will Grayson, who's a straight Will Grayson, I'm gonna call him Will Grayson. He is a very depressing person, I'd say, because he's sad a lot, and he's weird, and he's just fantastic. I don't know. I can't really explain it. He feels like he is stuck with Tiny because nobody else wants him, and that's just how he perceives his entire life. The other Will Grayson is a lot more depressing. He is really depressing, and in the beginning you get these feel good moments when he's chatting with Isaac because it's really cute. Will Grayson's parts are written like this, just like any other book is written. There's punctuation and grammar and situation marks and all that. And it's really easy to read. However, other Will Grayson's parts are written like this. All the talking parts are written in chat, I would say that is. There are no capitalized letters at all, not in names or anything, which I at first thought was really horrible, and I thought it was a bit painful, but yeah. It's okay. By the halfway point of the book you get used to it, the fact that half the book is grammatically correct and the other half isn't. Tiny is this eccentric person. Tiny is, oh my god, he is the most gay person you could ever imagine, stuffed into like the body of a footballer, and it's so wrong and it's so fantastic. I love Tiny. Tiny is great. Tiny's awesome. And Tiny has written a musical, original musical with original songs that's called Tiny Dancer, which is about the life of Tiny Cooper, and it's amazing, and things happen, everything just goes, you kind of understand where the story is going when you realize certain things, like certain aspects, like oh so that if he's that, then he's, and they're gonna, you understand that's where it's going, and then it's like bam, because all of John Green's books have a bam in it. Just great. I need to read more stuff of this guy though, David Levithan. I've not read anything of his. So this was really, really fun to read. Like to combined authors. That was really, really fun. So my next mission when this whole challenge is completed is that I am going to read something of David Levithan's. I tend to find a character in a book and I tend to identify a lot with that character, and in this book I identify a lot with Jane. I have a few gay friends and I think they're all equally awesome and fabulous. It really, really warmed my heart that John Green wrote a book where one of the main characters is homosexual and the other character's best friend is homosexual. John Green, if you're watching this, if you ever make this into a TV series or a movie, I'm ready to play your Jane right here. I can be mousy. I can. One of the things that I liked most about Jane is that she's not portrayed as this beautiful, untouchable girl that Alaska was portrayed as, or as Margot Ross Spielman is like portrayed as. I like that she is actually described as being commonly pretty, and she's a girl with mousy hair and she's just ordinary, and I really that really appealed to me because I'm not a beauty that way at all. I'm more of a common pretty person, and having a character that is actually described as commonly pretty really helped my self-esteem. This book, it just made me laugh and it made me cry and it made me feel everything just all at the same time. He creates these characters that are so real and you just really want them to be like your best friends, and that is what I was thinking when I was reading this book. And yeah, I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and I stand by that. Every single person should read this. Yes, it's a YA novel, but I think that adults need to read this as well. I would actually say that if you're a teacher or something and your students are old enough, I would say they had to be maybe middle year students or high school students. Get them to read this or read it for them, because it is a really good story. And yeah, I just think that it's a story that should be known to people. That's my verdict on this book. Everybody should know of this story, the story of Will Grayson. So yeah, 5 out of 5 stars, and I will talk to you guys another time. Bye.